We've all been spending a lot more time at home, and you probably know that your Alexa smart speakers are always listening. Amazon itself doesn't have the best reputation for users' privacy and data, but you have some control over what is stored and shared. Today we're going to look at 3 main security settings you need to pay attention to for your Alexa account. Let's get digital. Welcome to the second installment of my monthly Amazon Alexa series for 2021. If you're new here, hey, what's up? Thanks for watching. I'm Andrew. On this channel, I talk about all things tech, product reviews, tutorials, and tech tips kind of like this one, so consider subscribing. This is the second in a monthly series of videos for this year where I'm going to talk about the latest Amazon Echo updates, provide refreshers on some features you may find most useful, and even deep dive into features that you may want to know a little more about. You can check out last month's video here, and I'll leave a link to it and any products we talk about in the description below. You probably figure that your smart speaker collects a whole bunch of data about you. This isn't exactly news. There are a lot of reasons for this, and many people have different opinions about it. Whether this is to improve the product and its features, or big tech just wants to collect your data so they can sell you more targeted things. No matter which side of the spectrum you lie, you can control, or at least it appears you can control, the data Alexa collects. Open the Alexa app, go to the More tab at the bottom right, Settings, and Alexa Privacy. This is where you can see what data Alexa has about you. Your voice recording history, history of detected sounds, probably if you use Alexa Guard, your smart home device history, skill permissions, and the ability to manage all of the data's retention policies. First, voice history. This is a collection of voice recordings of commands sent to Alexa after saying the wake word. In here, you can see the commands that Alexa heard, from which device and when. This information can tell you a bunch of things. Remember, this is what Alexa heard. So if you think that a command is not working, you can go here and see what it heard, and maybe the command is just too confusing because it sounds too similar to something else, or maybe your dictation wasn't clear enough for Alexa to understand. Either way, confirming what it actually heard can be really useful. But let's stay with the privacy theme. You can also see if it heard something that wasn't intended for it. This would give you an idea if it's listening when you didn't want it to. You can also delete recordings. You can delete recordings from today, a single device, a specific time frame, or the entire history. It's your data, you decide what you want to do. You can also delete this history with a voice command, and we'll talk about that in a minute as we'll enable that feature under another menu. Next is history of detected sounds. This is a record of all the sounds that Alexa heard and was able to identify. There should only be data in here if you use the Alexa Guard feature. Alexa Guard is a security feature that actively listens for smoke alarms, CO2, and breaking glass. And this is something you actively have to enable. Say you turn on when you leave the house and then you turn it off when you return. If you don't use Guard, then you can skip over this. There should be no data here. But if you do, you can view the history here if you were curious if it ever heard anything but never alerted you. Same as your voice recordings, here too you have the ability to delete recordings from a specific time frame, although this is not Echo device specific feature, so this would delete the detected sound history no matter which device it was detected on. Smart home device history. Obviously, if you don't have any smart home devices configured to work with Alexa, you can just skip this too. Again, there should be no data here. If you do, next month, I'm going to dive deeper into my Alexa smart home, including the routines that I have programmed, so check back soon for that video. Unfortunately, there is no transparency in this history as it doesn't tell you what it knows about your smart home devices, only that it collects the names and state history of your smart home devices. Again, you can delete that history if you'd like. If your smart home devices include security items like door locks, garage door openers, and even Alexa compatible cameras, then maybe this type of state history is not what you feel comfortable sharing. That lack of transparency is part of why Amazon has a bad rap in the data privacy department. But there are reasons you may not want to delete this history. Mainly, there are very useful features that Alexa provides that relies on this data and will be less useful without this information. A couple of fairly new Alexa features, Hunches and Energy Dashboard, are the two main ones that would be crippled without this info. Both, in my opinion, are very useful additions to the Alexa platform, specifically when we talk about the smart home. With Hunches, Alexa can suggest to you an action based on your history. For example, if she thinks you left the house and are not home, it can suggest that it turn off all your lights. With a recent update in January of 2021, Alexa can now automatically act on these hunches. So instead of you receiving an alert suggesting an action, Alexa can just perform the suggested action for you. So it may detect you're not home and automatically turn off your lights. The Energy Dashboard is also relatively new. The Energy Dashboard gives you an overview of the energy your compatible devices use, along with personal insights, helpful tips, and recommended actions. You can even compare trends week over week or month over month. This only works with compatible devices, and that list isn't too long, at least at the time of this recording, but I'm sure it will grow over time. I'm particularly curious just how accurate this will be. I installed a Sense Home Energy Monitor a few years ago that measures my home's energy consumption in a very different and more accurate way. It will be interesting though to see if these end up providing different information. The Sense doesn't quite have the ability to report out on low consumption devices like LED smart bulbs. So for now, it seems the Energy Dashboard could present some very useful insights. And it's free. Hunches and the Energy Dashboard are only enabled by having access to your smart home history. Enabling a smart home to do work for you is the key. This is where we want to be. But of course, this comes at a cost, sharing your data. You'll have to decide how comfortable you are with this type of exchange for the potential benefits. I want to cover the remaining privacy settings, but I hope you're finding this information valuable. If you are, please let me know. Skill permissions. Once again, if you don't use any Alexa skills, you can skip over this. There should be no data here. This is where you can see what data Alexa has that it shared and with what skills. You can then enable or disable a skill from accessing that data, whatever it may be, your location, your name, etc. Just on a level of control, and it provides a little bit of peace of mind. Managing your Alexa data. The last menu is where you can configure how long your data is saved, and this is where you can enable the ability to delete voice recordings with a voice command. I mean, it's all deleted then, or at least that's what Amazon is telling us. I wonder if it deletes the recording of the command of me telling it to delete all the recordings. You can also grant Amazon permission to use your voice recordings to improve Alexa. This is very common. When you set up a new smartphone, for example, or sometimes even when you install a new app on your smartphone, you are prompted to share your data in an effort to help the manufacturer improve that product. I generally turn these off. It's less for me to keep track of and worry about. But this kind of sharing of data is really how improvements are accelerated. Okay, the last privacy setting we're going to review now is really kind of new and still controversial. Amazon Sidewalk. Sidewalk is a shared network that creates a low bandwidth network with the help of Sidewalk bridge devices, including select Echo and Ring devices. These bridge devices share a small portion of your internet bandwidth, which is pooled together to provide these services to you and your neighbors. Translation: this creates a shared network using your enabled devices with you and your neighbors. Let me repeat that last part. Your internet is pooled together to provide these services to you and your neighbors. This translates to enabling third-party devices onto your Wi-Fi so they can access the internet. This is to create a larger and more available interconnection for all devices. But this comes at a huge potential cost of letting your neighbors, or that could mean anybody, onto your network. For the able and willing hacker, this could mean they can easily gain access to your Wi-Fi and can do things like, I don't know, turn your lights on and off, your thermostat up and down, or maybe even unlock your front door or open your garage door. Cybersecurity threats are real. From what I've been reading about Amazon Sidewalk, opting in creates a real threat that would bypass any security you might have on your network and let a device on. Not any device, but still. Here's how to disable it. Go to your settings, account settings, select Amazon Sidewalk, and disable. I'm sure there will be more information uncovered about how exactly Sidewalk works and how it does or doesn't impact the integrity of your home network security. But until then, I'm keeping mine disabled. Well, this month's Alexa video was focused on privacy and your data, not arguably a very unsexy but important topic. If there's something you are interested to know more about, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to cover those topics in future videos. Please check out these videos here for more smart home and Alexa tips and updates, or head on over my channel for more. That's it for this month. Look out for next month's video with more Amazon Echo tips, tricks, and updates. As always, thanks for watching, stay digital, and I'll see you next time. Another video brought to you by beer.